Welcome back here to the Bossman Show. We're about to be joined by the George Mason Patriots head coach in his fourth season of George Mason. They're currently 7-1 and 18 in play, won 11 in the last 14 games, including 5 in a row. We're joined by Coach Dave Paulsen. Coach, how are things up there in Virginia, man?
Things are great here, JR. Feeling very excited about the progress of our team. We're expecting a big snowstorm tomorrow, so we're gearing up for that. It's probably not quite as warm as you have in Atlanta, but we're doing great.
I hear that, Coach. Now, Coach, I want to ask you, Coach, what's been in your mind the key factors to winning these 11 out of 14, 5 in a row, and overcoming 2 big losses of guys who scored double figures who are now out the injury? So how do you say your team's come together, and how you've been coaching your guys up in practice to get them to overcome this adversity and play well as they have so far?
Well, I would say this is my 25th year as a head coach. I've never had a group of guys who've practiced harder. They've just really bought in, really since early December. And we came back from a tournament in Florida, and we lost 2 there to Cincinnati and Baylor, certainly good teams. And we were sitting at 2-5. And, our entire team, they just rededicated themselves to practicing really hard and hanging their hat on the defensive end of the floor. And since that time, as you said, we've won 11 out of 14. I think we've held 8 or 9 teams in a row under 70 points, really playing at a high level defensively. Part of it is we're trying to, become a little more nuanced in our defensive strategy and rotations. And it took a little time for that to kind of take hold. So our guys bought into it. They started to understand rotations and the dynamic. And they also stopped worrying about expectations. I think that was a big deal because early on we were expected to be very good. And, we tried to score 12 points with 1 shot. We just had to learn to kind of, take the game as it came and worry about 1 play at a time.
I hear that, Coach. And getting kids to not read those press clippings, Coach, and read their press about themselves, hear all the good things about them, and sometimes it bleeds over into being complacent. And to get a team to refocus in and lock in and just buy into the team system, buy into what you're telling them in practice, buy into the game plan discipline, I'll tell you, Coach, that's a hell of a thing to do, Coach, in this day and time with young kids, 18 to 22 there.
Well, yeah, and I think with our guys, I don't think they were ever complacent. I think they worked really hard in the preseason. But it was the first time since I've been here, this is my 4th year, where we had some expectations. And we played some really tough teams early on. Penn, University of Vermont were a couple of home losses, which, are perennial NCAA tournament teams. We lost close games, but we were trying to play up expectations. And I think when you worry about the end result too much, then you end up screwing it up. You just got to worry about the process of playing this possession as well as you can. And sometimes you can do everything right and not get the result you want, but you just have to keep, doing the little things that help you have a chance to have success.
And, Coach, like you said, that non-conference schedule you played was pretty tough there, and I feel like that's really helped you guys. You playing quality opponents, quality coaches, quality schemes, quality players. It can only help you through the tough 18 as you go through February here and get into March for it when it really counts the biggest for you guys at the level that you guys play at. So I feel like that non-conference schedule really helps you guys out. Now I probably fear for you, Coach, next year guys might not want to play you guys because you were so good this year.
Well, yeah, it's a fine line in your non-conference schedule because you really want to challenge your team as much as you can, but you also want to, build up a resume and build some confidence. So we may have over-challenged ourselves in our non-conference schedule, and a couple breaks here or there. Instead of being 6 and 7, we would have been 9 and 4. But you are right, by playing that level of competition and by playing a diversity of styles. That has helped prepare us for the rigors of Atlantic 10 play.
And, Coach, looking at your roster, Coach, I feel like you have a good balanced roster, a good class balance there, a good mix of young guys and older guys. And I feel like that's going to really help you as well, too, in February and March, because those younger guys are going to learn if a guy goes down, unfortunately, or if you're in foul trouble, you can turn to a guy because, they've been shown the way that you got enough older guys on your roster to help show them how we do things in George Mason to play the right way, come in and keep that trend going like you guys had it with your main guys there.
Yeah, it's been really great. In fact, when we lost Gonar Mar, who was a sophomore, our most versatile defender, double-figure scorer last year, we had a young man, Jordan Miller. He was going to redshirt for us, but we lost Jair Greer and we lost Gunnar Marr, both two guys are both 6'6", 6'7", kind of played the same position. Well, Jordan had just worked so hard. He prepared himself. He was ready. And so now he starts for us. So we went from being a red shirt. We took him off the red shirt. He played his first game at 14 points on the road at University of Rhode Island, and then he's been a starter for us. So, and I think he was ready, but I think he also learned from the older guys.
And, Coach, and this is something I'll talk to the coaches about, too, and get your opinion on it. Being old and staying old in a great way consistently, especially at the mid-major level, now the non-power 5 level is really important because when you're an older team, you guys have been through those vigors, have been through those wars, and when you get in a term situation when it's not too big for them, when you get into a situation where you got to play up a high-major team, they're not scared of because they're older, they're developed, because being 21, 22, this was being 18 and 19 years old, still developing.
Yeah, it's huge, and so in our first 3 years, we were taking over a team and trying to rebuild a culture and trying to get the roster stabilized. And it took us until this year in our 4th year, as you said, where we have a mix. Right now we're only having one senior who plays, Otis Livingston, because Jair Greer is out with an injury. But then we got 3 juniors, 2 of them start, one's our 6th man. We start a freshman, we start a sophomore. We bring 2 or 3 other sophomores off the bench a lot. We play 3 freshmen now. So, we do. We would be playing 4 sophomores, but one's hurt. So we're playing 3 freshmen, 3 sophomores, 3 juniors, and 1 senior. And that's a good blend of experience and youth.
You got that right, Coach. Now, Coach, I see that you play on NBCSN this Saturday at 6:30 p.m. against VCU. VCU is a team that's always in talks for those tournaments, always getting that run of a great mid-major team. So, your guys get really jacked up to play a team like VCU and what Coach Rhodes is doing up there as well. And as we prepare to watch this game on TV on Saturday, what should we look for from your team? What should we look for in this matchup when you play those guys up there at VCU?
Well, it's going to be a great game, and it's going to be a great atmosphere, and Coach Rhodes is a phenomenal coach, and interestingly enough, we first met each other when we were both Division III head coaches, when he was at Randolph-Macon and I was at Williams College, and so both of us are guys who kind of came up and did a lot of different things as Division III head coaches. He's putting his stamp on the program. They're going to play exceptional defensively. I think we're 2 of the better defensive teams in the league. And so I think that's what you'll see. I don't think you'll see a lot of easy baskets for either team. At least I hope you don't see any easy baskets for them. And it'll be 2 teams that are pretty, evenly matched. And a lot of it will come down to, who can do a better job, knocking down free throws, taking care of the basketball, and just come up with a timely defensive stop.
Now, Coach, for our fans here across the country, listen to the show out on our affiliate network here, could you speak to the quality of teams and coaches that's in the Atlantic 10 conference? Because I feel like it's a conference not really noticed like it should be. You guys from NBCSN, but a lot of people don't really pay attention to your conference. I feel like you got a lot of great coaches like Coach Grant at Dayton, Coach McCall at UMass. You have Davidson doing everything, Rhode Island as well. So you just kind of speak to the quality of teams and coaches in the league for our listeners who may not be familiar with your league the way me or somebody else would be.
Well, it is. It's a great league. And the interesting thing is, so you've got a lot of diversity in coaching backgrounds. So you've got Bob McKillop at Davidson and Phil Martelli at St. Joe's, who will probably both end up in the Hall of Fame. So you have Hall of Fame coaches. But then you have some really good veteran coaches, like Keith Dambrot at Duquesne, and Mark Schmidt at St. Bonaventure, who, maybe are under the radar, but are phenomenal coaches. You've got some, great young up-and-coming coaches, like you said, Matt McCall, Anthony Grant. Like, you just have people who've been at all different levels. Every game we play, I look at them on film, and I'm like, wow, this is a really, really well-coached team. You've got really good players, who have a chip on their shoulder, who believe that they should be playing, in the ACC or conference like that. And quite frankly, by the time they're juniors, are capable of doing that. And then the interesting thing about our league, we're 14 teams in our league. There's a variety of styles. So you'll play, we play on Saturday at VCU, and we're going to see full court pressure defense, man-to-man defense, denial defense, just really, really good defensive team. And then we'll turn around on Wednesday and we'll play at the University of Richmond in the same town. And Chris Mooney's team, they'll play their matchup defense that has given teams fits for years. So just in the same city, in the same league, you're going to play two teams that couldn't be more dissimilar in their approach to the game.
I think it's good, Coach. You have like a 4-day prep and a 2-day prep for both of them to get ready because, man, the contrast in those styles and go from matchup zones to attacking, denial, defense. I can only imagine trying to scout that and get that done and practice those days in between these games. Thank God it's not a Wednesday, Friday, Saturday or something like that where you just got to be so close to playing both of these things back to back like that.
Yeah, you know, by this point, and that is, as you said earlier, that is the benefit of having played a really good non-conference schedule. We've played against some full court pressure defense. We've played against some matchup zones. You know, we've played against different styles. Neither one exactly like how Richmond and VCU will play, but that will help us. And that's where you got to have veteran leadership. And fortunately, we've got a really good point guard in Otis Livingston, a senior for us, and that makes things a little bit easier.
Coach, got an easy one for you to go out there with, Coach. Easy question for you. I know I told you off the air, Coach, Super Bowl here in Atlanta, so I want to get your prediction, Coach. It's going to be the Rams or the Patriots leaving Atlanta on Sunday night with that trophy.
That's a good one. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Patriots. I'm gonna go with Bill Belichick. What he's done. I'm not a football expert by any way, shape, or form, but I love following coaches at every level, and his ability to have such consistently excellent teams through all the thick and thin of free agency and trades and injuries is really remarkable. So I'm going to give a slight edge to the Patriots in a much more of a defensive battle than we might expect.
I hear that, Coach. Hey, Coach, I'm glad the Saints didn't come. I'm happy about that because, the Saints are our rivals, the Falcons. So half of the Saints didn't come here, Coach.
All right. Well, there's a lot of people in New Orleans that are pretty upset with those officials, but I've never once gotten mad at referees, so I can't share that sentiment. And if you believe that, Chair, I've got some swampland to say.
I know, Coach. Cause I know if it was a blind charge call, you're gonna be in that referee's ear. Come on, man, right. He was there.
That's right. That's right.
Coach Paulsen, we're going to head on the show, Coach. We'll be training for you guys at George Mason on Saturday on NBCS. Seeing me and my listeners here, Coach. Good to talk to you. Hope to talk to you again in March down the road, Coach. It's been great having the show. I love what you're doing with your team, Coach. Great best luck to you down the road, man.
All right, you take care.
All right, folks. It's Dave Paulsen on the Bossman Show, people.
All your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today. Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service.
Hey there, your yard took a real beating this summer. Luckily, Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard has your back. Just feed your grass with Scott's again this fall when the air is cool and the soil is warm. It's the perfect time to give your lawn a boost. If you do, Winter Guard will give your yard the nourishment it needs to help weak, thin grass recover and support root growth, giving you a greener, more resilient lawn both now and next spring. Guaranteed. Grab a bag of Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard today. You'll be back to barbecuing in no time. This is a Scott's Yard.
Hey parents, we all try to be extra careful with our children in the car, but then we get an important call or text. Remember, our children are watching. Make every drive a good example. Be in the zone. Turn off your phone. Visit childrenshospital.vanderbilt.org/BITZ to learn more about our Teen Driver Safety Program. Brought to you by Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, the Ford Motor Company Fund, and the Allstate Foundation.
Hello, my name is Travis Williams, President and CEO of Academics and Athletic Consulting, focusing on educating and empowering tomorrow's collegiate athletic leaders. My passion is for the education and genuine concern and care for today's student athlete. It's the centerpiece of my life's work. A college education, both in and out of the classroom, is a truly rewarding benefit. For more information on AAC, you can go to www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Once again, www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Academics and Athletic Consulting, or Twitter at Coach TWill24, or Instagram Travis L. Williams 24. Or you can call me at 404-542-6079. Once again, AAC is very proud to partner with J.R. McHenry of the Bossman Radio Show, covering sports and entertainment across the country. Please tune in weekly for informative, entertaining, and expert analysis on today's sports and entertainment topics. Thank you.
Folks, back here enjoy the Bossman Show. Been joined by Coach Andy Toole on the Bossman Show. The Robert Morris Colonials up there doing everything in the NEC conference. Coach, man, how's life treating you, man?
So far, so good, man. When you won a couple in a row, and you got a couple days to prepare for your next one, that preparation becomes a little bit easier. Your team's a little bit more excited to come to the gym. So things are all good here in Pittsburgh.
I hear that, Coach. Hey, you're 7-1, Coach, in NEC play there, 4-game winning streak. So what's been that key factors for you, Coach, in your mind for this winning streak you guys are on and playing so well in conference so far?
It's been the defense. We really defended. We really made it for our opponents to score. Right? During that 4-game winning streak, I think we're holding teams below 60s right now, and everybody's coming in and giving that effort. We're playing about 9-10 guys, and everybody's coming in, flying around, contesting shots, moving the feet. Communicating and doing all the things it takes to make it really hard on your opponent to score. And that's really been the thing that's allowed us to win these games here over these last 4.
And, Coach, speaking of non-conference play, Coach, I feel like your non-conference schedule really helped you guys build that callus to be good in conference play. Cause I feel like, playing that tough schedule you guys played, it gave you some challenges, gave you some different looks and some different schemes you may see down the road in conference play or down in March if you get that far and keep on winning games that way. So is that how you feel about your team, that the non-conference schedule, challenging as it was, gave your team that callus to be good as they are right now and to continue to get better as we go to February and March here?
Yeah, boss man, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think when you look at obviously playing USC, playing Purdue, playing Louisville, those are big time schools. But playing Missouri State, playing Canisius, playing Siena, playing Rider, playing guys that if you make a mistake, they're going to take advantage of it. If you have a little chink in your armor, they're going to be able to exploit it. And I think that helped us learn. Sometimes it's hard when you're going through that non-conference schedule, and you're giving tons of effort, and you're not having all the success that you want. We were mildly successful in the non-conference. There were a couple games that I think we gave away, but I certainly think that because of those games, we learned some lessons that have definitely helped us now that we got into conference play.
You got that right, Coach. And looking at your roster, Coach, I feel like you have a real experienced, balanced roster, Coach. And I think that'll help you out immensely because you are putting 9 chain guys. Guys are getting reps. Guys are getting live game action. Nothing beats a game action. You can put your time in practice, but getting on that game court is really good for guys, too. So I feel like that you have a great roster, a great balance on each end of it. And do you feel like that same way about your roster that, hey, knowing what I have putting out training guys, if we get in foul trouble, I can turn the guy on the bench and still not miss one beat, keep this training rolling like we had it going?
Yeah, boss man, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think when you look at, I think when you look at, the guys that you have playing, 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 Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think, even our guys that are sophomores, some of our guys on the young side, they got a ton of experience last year. They played a lot all year. A couple of those guys, Charles Bain, John Williams, they were starters as freshmen. So they got a real taste of what this is all about. And now as sophomores, they do understand that they are more experienced. We can take, if a guy's not having his best game, someone else can step up. In conference play right now, we have 4 guys averaging in double figures. And so, if someone's not making shots or someone gets in foul trouble, we have somebody that can come in and kind of pick up the slack. And I think, it's some of the teams in our league might not have as much depth. They might have some guys that might be more talented at one position or another, but they might not have as much depth. And so, it's certainly shown in a couple of our games, especially when you're playing a Thursday and a Saturday. You've got a one-day prep, in a 48-hour turnaround where, you got guys playing 24, 25, 28 minutes where maybe your opponent had guys playing on Thursday night 33, 34, 35 minutes. And now coming down the stretch of that Saturday night game, they might be a little bit worn down and not as fresh as your guys were because of the depth.
And, Coach, speaking at the mid-major level, I think something that I learned from covering the mid-major teams as I do, that when you want to get that right balance, but you want to get old and stay old a little bit, because the older you guys are, when you get in a tournament situation, your guys 20, 22, 23 years old aren't all shocked like an 18, 19-year-old guy for these high major guys who have these young guys who are talented, but that older team can wear on them a little bit stronger, more developed, and knowing your system, the way you get there will know the system, they can execute it in key moments and win those games in March and February there.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, there's the physical aspect of it. There's also the mental aspect of it. Like sometimes you get, some of the young kids and they get a little emotional. You know what I mean? They get a little bit awestruck by, a conference tournament type game where, there's a lot of pressure on that game. There's, a crazy atmosphere. There's, a lot of things that play into it. And when you have guys that are a little bit older, you have some juniors, you have some seniors, you have some guys that can kind of be calming influences. It allows you to kind of play your game because they've been, in those kind of environments. They've played under that kind of pressure before, and they know how to respond and they know how to prepare. And so, it's definitely some of our better teams have been older teams. This team we have right now has, a good amount of experience. And then even the new guys that we have, are pretty mature in the way that they work. And I think that that's, allowed all of us to kind of come together and understand, how you have to prepare game in, game out. If you want or not, to go and prepare, make sure you're taking care of your business each and every day on the court.
Now, Coach, looking at your team stats, Coach, I'm a big stat guy. I see you got 7 guys averaging 5 or more a game, 3 guys in double figures. You got balance rebounding, 7 guys over 2 per game. So, Coach, this season, did you prioritize your team sharing the basketball, attacking the glass? Is 2 elements that you want your team to be dominant in? Because it seems like, based on your stats, that's what you guys are doing every night out here.
Yeah, we don't have a guy that – I'm not saying we don't have a guy that can go get 20, but we don't have a guy that goes get 20 every night, right? And so – it's like, can we find the best shot for our team every possession down? And I think when more people are touching it, more people are scoring, they're energized, and then obviously, we talk about being able to rebound the basketball on both sides, defensively and offensively, as maybe the thing that can separate winning and losing. If you're not giving your opponent an opportunity to get second chances, and then you're going and getting more and more possessions and more opportunities to score, that can be the factor in deciding the game. And so our guys have really responded to that. We've had games of, 2 games of 18 offensive rebound games, a game of 17 offensive rebounds, where it's been almost back-breaking type plays to our opponent because they might guard for 20, 25 seconds, give up a shot, miss it, and on the rebound, they get guard again for 20, 25 seconds. So, those kind of plays don't always show up in the stat sheet, but they have a dramatic impact on who wins and loses the game.
Exactly. Those hidden stats that people don't really pay attention to, those hustle points that people don't really pay attention to, Coach, is very key because, like you said, that attrition and mentally wears them down. I got to defend again. We did our rotations right, but we didn't get the rebound. So, like I said, that has aggressive, like you said, Coach. It wears guys down mentally, physically. I see it every day when I'm with the Hawks or the Falcons. I see how they preach about wearing people down, the attrition, making that extra hustle play to make your opponent tap out. So, like you said, that having to defend again for a whole minute, doing slides and rotations at a high level, it can wear somebody out real fast, causing them to foul as well.
Definitely. Yep, definitely.
And, Coach, you got games this week with St. Francis at home, and you got a road game out on Saturday as well. So, Coach, what do you emphasize to your team this week to get ready for these 2 games coming up here in NEC play here?
We just got out of the gym a little while ago, and we talked about just continuing to put in our work each and every day. I think our guys have worked really hard get where we are at 7-1. And I told them we're going to have to work even harder if we want to stay, on the plus side, if we want to stay in first place, because we haven't reached our ultimate goal yet, which is, whether a regular season championship or getting to the NCAA tournament. Those are things that we talk about as a program. That's the expectation level for our program, and there's still a long way to go. So we can't feel satisfied. We can't feel like we've accomplished anything. We can't feel like we've figured anything out. We just got to keep working, keeping our head down, and keep working day after day after day. And then when all the dust settles, we'll pick our head up and figure out where we're at. But that was the message today at practice. And, can we make today our best practice we've had so far? Can we compete like we've competed in some of the past weeks in practice? So that on Thursday night when we take the court, we know we've done all the things we can do to play our best game. And that's kind of been our message, all conference season and all year long. And I think our guys have really responded well to it.
Now, Coach, can you speak to the quality of teams in the NEC conference? Because I feel like a lot of people don't realize, like I do, about how good the basketball is in the NEC. Just kind of show our listeners a little bit about the coaches and teams in the league that who are really quality teams that people might not hear about it on every day. Basically, ESPN doesn't cover you guys the way I will cover you guys.
Well, we got some really good young coaches. We got some really good coaches. We got some really good programs in the NEC. Guys like, Donyell Marshall, who played 13 years in the NBA, is the head coach of Central Connecticut State. And he gets dirt under his fingernails, and he gets down and he coaches his guys, and they get after it. And, Derek Kellogg, the former coach at UMass, is now at LIU Brooklyn. And Bashir Mason, who's one of the youngest coaches in the country at Wagner, they won the last 2 regular season championships in the Northeast Conference. And, we have guys that are really, really pushing their programs forward, guys that are recruiting good student athletes, guys that are giving them good plans and putting them in good systems, and challenging them to become the best that they can be. And, I think you've seen, some NEC schools in the last few years, Mount St. Mary's, St. Francis, PA. You've seen those teams on national television competing against some of the best. Mount St. Mary's 2 years ago was leading Villanova at the half in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Those are some of the things that I think people don't always, equate with Northeast Conference basketball. But, it's a really underrated league. We have some really good players in our league, some really good young players in our league that if they can continue to work and develop and grow and stay together and stay in their programs, I think in the next couple of years, you'll really start to recognize those programs, and more general fans will start to recognize those programs. But we know every night as coaches when we take the floor, we're going to be facing a quality coach team. We're going to be facing a team that's going to compete, and that has talent. And, that sometimes keeps you up at night as a coach, but it also makes it a lot of fun to go out and compete against those kind of schools and those kind of programs.
That's what I got for you, Coach. I told you off there in Atlanta, Super Bowl week is here in the ATL. So, Coach, who do you got this week, Rams or Pats, Coach?
I got the Pats, man. I'm a Giant fan my whole life, but I don't know something about the Pats this year. They look like they're playing that underdog role, and Brady's trying to get them get everybody to believe that nobody respects them, and I think they're on a mission.
I hear that, Coach. Hey, I'm just glad the Saints ain't here, Coach. I didn't care who came on to want the Saints. I didn't care.
You're just happy you got a downtown hotel room. That's all you care about.
You got that right, Coach. you know the bigger picture here.
No doubt.
Hey, Coach, it's been great to talk to you, man. We'll talk to you down the road, Coach. Have a great week this week. Hope you guys win those 2 games. We'll talk to you again real soon, Coach.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Hip-hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip-hop. Albums available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today, True Speech and 313 Fresh, Family Grind ENT. Believe in it, get it.
A gorgeous tan from Suntan City gives you an inner glow that relights the fire when you run into your first crush.
Vicky, who was that?
An old boyfriend.
Lucky you just tanned at Suntan City.
Lucky he's single. We're doing lunch tomorrow.
Won't be single for long then.
During Tour of the City, try all 5 tans, including spray tan, for just $4.99. Restrictions may apply. Click to buy now.
When you're a teen, you finally get to make some of your own decisions. Who are you going to hang out with? What do you want to be? Are you going to glance at that text while driving? Remember, a split second is all it takes for something tragic to happen. Be in the zone. Turn off your phone. Visit childrenshospital.vanderbilt.org/BITZ to learn more about our teen driver safety program. Brought to you by Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, the Ford Motor Company Fund, and the Allstate Foundation.
It's maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer.
Tell me what you gonna do to me. Confrontation ain't nothing new to me. You could bring a bullet, bring a sword, bring a morgue, but you can't bring the truth to me.
Alexa, play Kendrick Lamar and SZA.
Okay. Maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
Yeah, it's your man JC, the host with the most, baby, and it goes down each and every Saturday night right here in the city of Memphis. That's right, y'all. It goes down at Clicks Sports Bar Memphis, baby. 3705 Malco Way, Memphis, Tennessee, 38125. Come out and join us, the Three Kings, each and every Saturday night for the livest karaoke in the city. Everybody gets in free till 10 p.m. Only $5 after. Great food. We got drink specials. We got all kind of games, man. We got the pool tables popping. Whatever you want, we got you, man. Come on out. Have a good time with us each and every Saturday night. That's Clicks Sports Bar, Memphis.
Back in the Gerald the Bossman Show, joined by Robert Jones, the Norfolk State Spartans, leading the MEAC right now, doing big things up there in Norfolk, Virginia. Coach Jones, how are things with you, man?
Everything's good, man. Everything is good.
I hear that. Well, Coach, congrats on being 7-0 in the MEAC right now, Coach. You're riding that winning streak. So what has been the key factors for you and your team so far as you started MEAC play so hot?
Well, I think the kids got a pretty good focus. I think that they've been paying attention to the scouting reports, and they've been coming in with a focused mind. And then, they've been pretty confident actually too. So, these kids, whether they're crazy or not, they believe they could go 10-0, and they're going with that challenge for themselves. That's a tough, daunting task to do, to go undefeated in conference season. So, I told them I just want to win enough games so we can win the regular season title, whatever that might be. If that's all 16, then it's 16. If it's 14, it's 15, whatever it might be. But, they really believe they could go 16-0, and the belief is spreading throughout the team, and they've been playing with some great confidence.
And, Coach, do you believe the non-conference skills really help you guys out? Because I feel like, playing those teams you guys play, at HBCU schools, you have to kind of play for some money games and go out and play tough for opponents to get that money for the scores, money for the school. So do you feel like playing up quality opponents in different schemes and different kind of styles has really helped your guys toughen them and harden them up for non-conference, for the conference play you have in the MEAC right now, 7-0, and hopefully spur them on to win every game? It means you guys can.
Yeah, I think that does. We don't necessarily have to play like a lot of the real high major teams. So this year we played South Carolina and Michigan, which was very good teams, but we played a lot of quality mid-majors that were predicted to win their tournament, and it was kind of on purpose because we wanted to see where we stand against the best mid-majors in the country. And we had a couple close losses to some teams. We had an 8-point loss, a 9-point loss to Ryder. We had a 9-point loss, I think, to State, and then we had another loss to what's the team? I forgot offhand right now, but so many teams that we played. But we've had Stony Brook, which is like 16-4 right now. We lost to them actually twice, one time by 5 points, one by 7 points. So, we were right there with some of the best mid-majors in the country. And once we got into conference play, we found some momentum after we got the big win versus UTEP over the Christmas break, we found a little momentum, and so far this year we've been undefeated.
And Coach, looking at your roster, because I feel you have a good roster balance of young and old, and then a little experienced roster you have, Coach. I feel like it's going to help you guys immensely as you all go through February and March here and can potentially make that run that your team wants to make, because having guys who are experienced, having guys who can play, having guys who know the system very well, like what you're running up there in Norfolk State, can really help you guys when it gets tough and nitty-gritty when you're trying to play against these younger teams who may not have the knowledge how to execute in tough situations, make their right play when it gets tough and tight in second half there. So I feel like your team has the talent to get the job done based on the roster that you have at the moment. Is that something do you agree with, that assessment?
I think that a lot of our key guys returned from last year. Last year we really stumbled in the non-conference, and we played pretty solid in the conference season, finished at 11-5. But a lot of those guys remember those experiences from last year, and they dwell on it, and they remember and fueled a little bit, so they kind of learn with to experience with that situation. So, now that we're in some games, even some of the conference games have been close. We've been down 10 at South Carolina State and Savannah late in those games, and you kind of see last year you probably saw panic on the guys' faces. Maybe a wild three or a shot that they probably shouldn't take. But this year it was a lot more calm and just understanding that we're going to just keep chipping at it point by point, and then we was able to take over both of those games and win those games. So I think the experience factor is definitely kicking in from last season to this season, and then with the new guys that we have, they just learn from the old guys, so it's a good thing.
And Coach, at your level, I feel like it's very important player development, because a lot of the guys you get aren't the blue top, collar blue chip kind of guys, but you develop them over time, and by the time they're juniors and seniors, they could play at a high major level because of the player development program. So I feel like the mid-major level is very important to develop your players in summertime, get the guys in the gym working on their games, to grow them as players so they can be good for you for many years to come. And by the time they're seniors, hey, you may they can ride a wave and get into a tournament based on one guy's great development and great play there.
Yeah, we take pride in our player development. Like we say, everybody can be an NBA player, but we want you to max out at whatever you're going to max out at, or whatever you can max out at. Some guys can max out at 20 points a game. Some guys can max out at rebounds a game. Some guys can max out at 8 points a game. But whatever your max potential is, we try to get it out of you by the time you leave here. And so far, we've been doing a pretty solid job with development of the guys over years. So we take great pride. That's one of our recruiting tools. A lot of different examples of players who passed through, and we say, this kid averaged 3 points this year, he averaged 10, and then he first team all MEAC by senior year, and we want to try to keep that trend up, because like you said, we don't go get the top 50 players in the country and just roll the balls out and just let them play. We have to get guys who fit the system and just try to keep making them better and better and better.
Got there right, Coach. Looking at your team stats, Coach, it kind of speaks to you what you're talking about. It's like, Coach, you got balance scoring across the board. 60 guys averaging more than 8 points a game. You got 2 guys in double figures along with balance rebounding. 9 guys pretty much 2 rebounds per game. So it's sharing the basketball and attacking the glass, 2 elements to shoot. Your staff really honed in on this year to make sure it's key factors for your team to go forward and win games this year.
We always talk about sharing the ball. We look at our assists in every game, and try to see what's the ratio of field goals assisted, and things like that. When there's a higher percentage, we know that we're really sharing the ball. When it's a low percentage, we know we were selfish in the game a little bit. So we try to make sure that we're sharing the ball and dribble penetration spots and things like that. So we really hone in on that a little bit. But the rebound is something that I think that can still get better with us. We've been doing a solid job so far, but I still think that it's better. And you're going to have to do down the stretch, especially if you want to try to win a MEAC championship.
I hear that, Coach. The coach's preference is this week's game at Howard down there in D.C. What be the things you're focusing on with your team as you get ready for this matchup with Howard, and you got this good time to prep for them as well?
Yeah, I mean, Howard is a high-powered offensive team. They have 3 guys who can really score the basketball. They have 2 guys who return, and a new guy that that was last year, I assume. But they got 3 guys who getting 14 points or better per game with RJ Cole getting into 20. So from an offensive standpoint, for us, we really have to be locked in and try to slow those guys down. And from an offensive standpoint, we got to just execute and try to do what we've been doing to have success on that offensive end.
I hear that, Coach. Now, Coach, for my listeners out here, I'm big. I'm very low at HBCU schools. I came with Tennessee State. I'm an HBCU guy. So you talk to the importance of being at HBCU school and coaching these HBCU young men to get these young men, our young black men, a great education loan, teach them how to play basketball, to play in Europe, the G League or the NBA if they're that good. So how important do you take your role of being an HBCU for our young black men as they grow up into, being like us, established black men in our careers?
I take great pride and a sense of responsibility with that. Not just being a basketball coach, but being a leader of young African American men. And one of the biggest things I tell them and try to basketball recruiting them is that hopefully, if you give us your child as a boy, we'll send them back to you as a man. We take great pride in that because most of these kids are not going to make the NBA. Now, a lot of them do end up making a little bit of money, playing overseas for a couple of years. So there will be a lot of pros in a sense, but there won't be a lot of NBA pros when, you're making millions of dollars and you can set your family up for life with one contract, that's the case really there. There's a bunch of Kyle O'Quinns and things like that come out of institutions. So therefore we have to set these guys up to be valuable young black men in society. And, we try to do that through different life skill talks and just using the game of basketball because sports and life, really coincide in many different ways. So, we try to use examples of sports that will relate in real life. For example, I'm a real stickler about time, and I tell them all the time, that when the bus is leaving at 5 o'clock, the bus is leaving at 5 o'clock. It's not leaving at 5:01, 5:02, or things like that. And some people have got left, because we leave at exactly on time. But in the real world, you can't keep showing up to your job late and expect to not be fired. So, you better get used to being on time now. So when you get into the real world, it's going to be second nature to you to be on time. Yep. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here, Coach.
Oh, yeah. So that's just one of the examples that we use, and, that's just what we're trying to do.
Now, Coach, also, for my listeners out here who might not be familiar with the MEAC conference like I am, talk about the quality coaches in the MEAC. You have Savannah State down there with Coach Brad Broadness. You have Coach Ritter down there at Bethune-Cookman. So talk about the league in a whole, about how the league is just growing and the league is just getting better, the talent's getting better in MEAC, and about the teams and the coaches, because a lot of our listeners don't know about the MEAC the way I do. So can you kind of give them a little bit of taste about the MEAC from your perspective as being a coach in the league there?
Well, I think the coaches are getting better, the players are getting better. I think the overall league is getting better. I think that, just things that the league do, itself is getting better. The MEAC tournament is getting better. It's been growing in Norfolk. I know a lot of people think that we have the home court advantage, but we haven't won the thing there yet. So I don't know how much of a home court advantage we have with that, but it's definitely growing. You can see the fans, it's going from, a couple thousand people to now, we played the semifinals a couple of years ago. It was like 10,000 people and they almost sold out. So, it's definitely an atmosphere that's growing with the tournament, and then the whole league is just expanding. They got new media deals, and of course we still got the ESPN deal, and then a lot of teams in the league now have their own sneaker deals between whether it's Nike or Under Armour or Adidas. And when I first got here, everyone had Russell, and sometimes people will clown you about having Russell and things like that. But now everyone's legit, shoe apparel company, so attached to it. So. It's been doing, tremendous strides since I've been in the league, and hopefully the league can keep moving forward.
That's when I got for Super Bowl weekend, Atlanta, Coach. Super Bowl here in Atlanta, we got it crazy going on. So who you got, Coach? Rams or Patriots, man?
Man, that's a tough one, man. I know it's hard to bet against Tom Brady, man. So, I'm gonna go with Brady.
I hear that, Coach. Every coach on the day said that Brady. How about the Rams, Coach? Because I'm a Falcon, man. No, they took my Super Bowl from me back in Houston, man. So I ain't shook that yet. Had to come back in my backyard and win now.
That's right. I got you, man. I got you.
I hear you. Hey, Coach, been great to have you on the show, man. Talk to you down the road, Coach. And good luck against Howard this weekend, Coach. We'll talk to you down the road. Tell Coach Brown I said what's up, man.
I will, man.
All right, folks, this is Robert Jones and the Bossman Show. People, Norfolk State Spartans here with us on the Bossman Show. All right, everyone's back here on the Bossman Show, but joined by the Purdue Fort Wayne head coach. He's a coach who has ties to our area, the Atlanta area, Coach John Coffman. Coach Coffman, how are things up there in Fort Wayne, man?
Well, I promise you it's a little cooler than it is down there in Atlanta. It's It's 27 degrees right now in Fort Wayne, and it's supposed to get down to -10 on Wednesday. So I don't know if you've ever felt -10, have you?
Yes, I did, Coach. Last year's Super Bowl in Minnesota, I sure did.
Okay. Well, it's a little different from my days growing up in Dunwoody and going to Marist High School. So, I love my time in Atlanta, and I'm excited for you having me on your show.
And, Coach, it's like I said, it's good to talk to somebody who has ties to the area because, Coach, I told you off there, Coach, a lot of people come on the show, tell me about it, the traffic, the varsity, and your Waffle House. That's what I usually hear about when I have guests on the show, Coach. Those three things.
Oh, yeah, that's right up my alley. I love all three.
Amen to that, Coach. And Taco Mac as well. Another local thing here that I love, Taco Mac and Tin Lizzies as well, Coach.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not on your show, but I'm a big fan of Sweetwater 420 too.
Hey, yes you can, Coach. It's all good. It's all good, Coach. I'm telling you, it's all good, man. So it's good to have you on the show, Coach. Now, I said, Coach, I saw you. I saw your team, man. I saw you all making improvements. I want to have you on the show because I see you all 5-3. Some of the league play. Yes, come off winning against Denver. Now, I've had on Coach Bossman Show before as well. So talk to me, Coach. What's been the key factors for your team this year in the summer league play, being 5-3, getting off this good start, and being the thick of things with South Dakota State, South Dakota, those teams like that in the league, Coach?
Well, I really like our group, and we have 10 newcomers, and so I know there's going to be continued growth as we go through. We got off to a hot start. We were 4-0 in the league, and that included a 16-point win at home against South Dakota State, who was picked to win our league. And the two of us have been toward the top of the league for the last really 4, 5, 6 years. It's been South Dakota State, Fort Wayne, North Dakota State, and in the last 2 years, South Dakota's had really good years. And so, we've been up towards the top, but unfortunately we had a little bit of a run into some tough road trips and ended up dropping a couple, but had a great Denver win on Saturday for our homecoming, which, kind of put us back on the right track. So love this group. We're led by 2 seniors, one of which, John Conchar's, he's on most NBA teams' radar. Talked to 17 NBA franchises this offseason. He's actually the only player in the nation since 1992 when they kept all of these stats to have over 1,800 points, 1,000 rebounds, 400 assists, and 200 steals. And he's having a phenomenal year this year, leading our league in assists, second in rebounds, plays the point guard at 6'5", and he's averaging close to 20 a game. And then we have another senior, Kason Harrell, who's from Pittsburgh, and he's having an all-league caliber year as well, averaging about 18 points a game. And, those two are leading, in the scoring column, but also just by example with these 10 newcomers. But, we're top 20 in the country in scoring, top 20 in the country in three-pointers and assists. And so, we've got an explosive offense, and I really like we've shown some depth with some of these newcomers taking on big roles or bigger roles, and we've started getting some critical stops down the stretch. So I like our progress, and I like where we stand right now in the Summit League.
And, Coach, like you said, your progress, I feel like player development is so key, Coach, for any roster, especially at the mid-major level, because, you don't get those blue-chip, top-notch recruits that Duke or Carolina gets. So you have to develop your players, find out down in the rough, the JUCO route, transfer route, a high school freshman coming in from high school. So, and I feel like the newcomers offseason is going to be very key for these guys to develop in your system even more. Those two studs you have leaving after this year, Coach.
No doubt. And both of them, ironically, these two guys we were their only Division I offers. John Conchar, we recruited him out of Chicago, and he was the leading scorer in the state of Illinois, but he was 6'4", 162 pounds. We redshirted him, added 45 pounds of muscle, and added more over his career, and now he's a fifth-year senior who weighs 215 pounds. Kason Harrell, our senior two-guard, he didn't play at all on a team that won our league and then comes back his sophomore year after just working his tail off and is 7th in the nation in 3-point shooting. And, these are two young men. We beat Indiana in back-to-back years. 2 years ago, they were ranked number 3 in the country. Last year, we went down to Bloomington and beat them by 20 on the road. And, they're two guys that literally were under the radar, but they've gone to work, and they can really play. And you're exactly right. And I feel like we stole one out of Atlanta last year. Jared Godfrey from Sandy Creek is a freshman for us this year, and started a handful of games, but plays a significant role right now coming off the bench. And I think he's going to be an absolutely tremendous player over his 4-year career with us.
Yes, indeed. Like I said, Coach, there's a lot of talent here in Atlanta. That's why the Peace Jam is so big, and these other terms we have out there at Lake Point. All these guys come to see these guys play here because the talent pool is very large, because Georgia can't get everybody, so Tech doesn't get everybody. So you got a lot of players here who get overlooked by Kennesaw maybe, or Mercer maybe, or GS, Georgia State maybe. They can all come out, all leave here and play somewhere like Fort Wayne and develop and be good for 4 years, get a nice degree, and maybe play pro somewhere, not in NBA, but over in Europe somewhere or in Asia.
Right. Well, we've gotten guys that are hungry, that are gym rats, and we've had 17 guys sign pro contracts in my 7 years here, and just really proud of the development that you talked about. That's something we've taken great pride in. And I'll be honest with you, I got a lot of my development stuff from my high school coach, Ron Bell at Marist High School, who in 1993 was the National High School Coach of the Year. And, a great example of player development. I played with Matt Harpring in high school. That's my last claim to fame in playing, is that I was a senior, Matt was a sophomore, and Matt was the third string point guard that year. Obviously, he developed a lot better over the next couple of years than I did, playing in the NBA for over a dozen years. But it's really cool watching these young guys just spend time in the gym and dream and work and just evolve. And then those guys that get on to play at the next level, that's pretty cool.
Exactly, Coach. And I feel like a lot of young men who I go talk to different colleges around the area, I try to tell them, hey, every day you have to keep working at your craft to get better, because there's somebody always be better than you. You have to chase the next guy. Always be hungry for the next best thing. Don't get complacent. Don't settle for what you are now. Try to be better the next day. Live every day as a new day to become a better person, a better player, or better whatever you do. Use each day you have to become better and learn something different to make yourself a well-rounded individual going forward in life.
It sounds like you've been hanging out in my locker room. I like it.
I may have, Coach. You never know. I'm not going to be anywhere.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it. And I got to get down there. I need to get down there actually as soon as possible. I got to get out of this cold weather for a little bit.
Now, Coach, when you come to recruit here, well, I know you will come, let me have you come here to Northside Drive, where I'm at right next to our studio in Midtown Atlanta here, and come in studio with us, turn on the live stream, have the fans of Fort Wayne see you in studio with me and my staff, and we have a great time and just, talk Fort Wayne basketball. Let's talk life and just talk ball, man, because I love doing those things, Coach.
I would love to, and I know with your Orlando ties, we've had 7 first-team all-league guys from the state of Florida. Got 3 on our roster right now. We definitely can talk a lot about Southern hoops. We've done very, very well in Fort Wayne with some Southern guys.
Now, Coach, let me ask you this, Coach. Now, for a guy from Florida like myself or Atlanta, how do you sell a guy on the cold? Because I know for me, it was hard to go to Tennessee State because I was used to being in Florida. But I realized I wasn't going to play UCF football-wise. I wasn't going to get on the field before my junior year, and I wanted to play. So I went down a level to FCS, Tennessee State, and got to play right away in Nashville. Now, it gets cold there, but not cold as it gets in Fort Wayne. So how do you sell a guy on the cold from Florida like myself?
Well, the difference between the route you went and what I'm trying to get players to do is that, we play basketball, which is all indoors. And so you're not having to face that sort of issue of cold weather playing. Also the Summit League last year was ranked as high as the 12th best league in the country. And so you're getting mid-major plus basketball where, You go into, the state of Florida and even into Georgia where you have the Atlantic Sun. It's, kind of a little bit of a notch above from top to bottom in the league, and or at least some of the perception or the RPI and the rankings. And so, you get to sell that next level of basketball between, the Horizon, the Summit, and the MAC is some of the best mid-major basketball, in the country. The other part is I don't know if you've ever been to Indiana, but we're a little bit basketball crazy up here. We got
very much so.
9 of the largest high school gyms in the country are in Indiana. I got 2 assistant coaches that played at Muncie Central, all right, which is that's the school that was in the championship against Milan in the Hoosiers movie, and it was the big school. They seat 7,000 seats in their high school gym, and that's the 16th largest in the country. I recruited a young man from Newcastle High School last year, which is where Steve Alford played, and they have over 10,000 seats in their high school gym, and they pack it. I got to call ahead to make sure I get a reserved seat when I go watch a high school game in the state of Indiana, because they'll sell out 4,000 to 8,000 seats. So there's just great enthusiasm, and our guys, they're on the nightly news here. We'll have 2 to 3 TV cameras in our practice gym every day when we get into league play. We're on TV every game. There's a great following. When we played Indiana at home 2 years ago, the year they were ranked number 3, we sold the game out in 45 minutes, and that's 12,000 seats. And we played in the old Detroit Pistons. I don't know if you knew this or not, but Fort Wayne is the home of one of the original NBA cities. The Detroit Pistons started in Fort Wayne. And so we just got great tradition here, and people are basketball junkies. And so, we really sell the basketball part of it to our recruits and the guys in the South. And the other thing is, for those Florida guys we got, the nice thing is they got that Allegiant Air for $60 a direction, trying to get the snowbirds down there to Florida. And we just use it in reverse direction to get mom and dad up to watch them play.
Yeah, Coach, I was in Indianapolis on New Year's Eve with the Atlanta Hawks. So I was just there. Because I don't know if Derek tells you or not, I also work with the Hawks on their broadcast, doing on the radio side. So I'm with the Hawks and Falcons always. So Indiana Pacer fans are always wild. The field house is always going crazy up there. So I enjoy it. It's one of my favorite trips of the year, going into Indiana to see how the fans in Indiana always cheer on their Pacers no matter what.
I'm a diehard Hawks, Falcons, Braves fan, and it was really cool. I was blessed during my time at Marist that Mike Fratello's kids were in high school with me. Bobby Kremen's kids were in high school with me. A number of the coaches for the Falcons, their kids were in high school with me, and actually this is a big week for my high school, showcasing in Atlanta. Sean McVay, a Marist grad, is bringing his Rams down to Atlanta. It's going to be a pretty cool weekend.
And, Coach, I hope you're cheering for the Rams. That's where I am. Because, Coach, I can't cheer for a Saint or a Patriot after what happens in Houston and what the Saints do to us all the time. I got to cheer for the Rams. And Coach Wade Phillips and Sean McVay. You got to, Coach.
No doubt. And he gets all this credit for being a great football coach. He was a heck of a football player himself. He was player of the year the same year that Calvin Johnson came out. That's pretty good representation.
Yes, indeed. Coach McVay. Now, Coach Coffman, I'll tell you what, man. I hope you all beat South Dakota this week. And Oral Roberts, I love your energy, Coach. I love that we, like I said, we're on the same language, the same plane. We are Georgia guys, man. This is exciting, man. So I look forward to having you on the show again, Coach. You've been a great guest. Hope to get you in studio here in Midtown Atlanta when you come to town. So, Coach, when you come to town, look me up. I'm going to text you off after the show here so you can have information. Hopefully we can link up here real soon, Coach.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on today.
Thanks, Coach Coffman. Have a great day. Talk to you real soon, man.
All right. Thanks. Take care.